The next part of this series will be to create an About section on the webpage. This is the website series where I'm building out a Hairlocks website. It'll basically be an online store, if you will, but it will be integrated with some other platforms. I did follow up with the customer about some details, so some adjustments will need to be made in the rest of the videos of the series, but you will see that if you continue with the series, as I will be continuing to post about this video series. What I did was to get a list of the products, or to make up a temporary list of the products, and in doing so, if I can find the correct tab, I have a list here of featured products, and I use ChatGPT to generate that list. You're probably asking, well, how did I do that? Great question. All right, so I'm scrolling back up here, and I basically had to tell it, hey, I have a list of items for a hair product online store. I need to have 10 items for testing. Originally, I wrote this description a little bit differently, and it started giving me some PHP code like this down here for using the Symfony framework, which is not what I wanted. What I ended up doing though is to stop it midway and then have it regenerate, making some adjustments and then regenerate it. And so it did create that. However, it did not, it started using blank text like item 3, description of item 3, item 4, description of item 4. So I'm like, hey, fill it in with some stuff that you make up and go from there. So I did do that, and after having a discussion with the customer, she said it will probably be somewhere between 10 to 12 items. So I went ahead and implemented it for 12 items. Granted, it may change in the future. The next aspect of this, I want to set up an About section on the page. So if we come back over, close up some of this here, and we'll set up below the featured products section, I want to create another section down here, and it'll just be content dropped directly into the page. I take that back. I may set this up so that it can be configured. So we want an H2 tag. And I want to start using IDs with about, and then we'll say about us. That may change to something different. And I also need to put some IDs in up here for the other elements. So since I'm doing this H2, I need to really just copy that one. And then we'll do ID about, and then about us. All right, and then so I should below this have a section down here. Also, I will need to, and I want to go ahead and start doing this now since I am been looking at it a little bit. So this is drop down. Do I need to drop? I don't think I need to drop down. So what I'm going to do is to comment all of these out. The home link. The home link will remain, but instead of it being home, I need it to be about, and then I can come over here in the href and say about, and then there we go with that. Remove this span. Actually, let's undo that. Duplicate comment, and then I'm going to let's see, nav item, remove the active class, because I want because this is a single page, there never will be an active or inactive class on this particular page. And so I'm going to go ahead and remove that from here. Now, if I mouse over this, I'm curious as to what it may or may not do. So it doesn't give me anything extra there with that. Got it. All right, so once again, we'll do format on that to do the indentions, and then I will do an about, and then this will jump down to the about section of the page. I will copy this again. We will have products. I'm also going to have a contact linked, so contact. And then those will be, for now, the items that are necessary to be listed on the website. And so what I want to do is to do text white for all of these, because I think that's what I need. No, that is not it. All right, nav item light. Maybe that's what I'm missing, not white. Okay, let's see where that style is coming from, because I need this to be white like the rest of the text on the page, and apparently it is. Why does it look dimmed? That is not the way it should look. All right, so the nav bar has that. This has that. What is in the styling of the nav link? No decoration, block, padding, color. So the color of body is being overridden. Okay, that makes sense. All right, and then so that is computed text light. 240, 40. Okay, that's what the problem is. All right, so I put the styling on the wrong attribute. So if I do that there, now that is brightly colored. There we go. All right, so light. And what I really could do though is in my style here, I can go add a dot nav link text, not text, color white. Okay, that a nav link, that is what I named it, correct? Yeah. Okay. That's weird. Nav link. All right, so if we do the mouse over, yeah, mouse over that. So nav link is white. Oh, probably needs the, oops, undo that and do that. There we go. All right, so now all of my navigation links are white. Now I don't have to worry about changing them individually. All right, so now that we have those there, let's do a format and trim, and then a, let's move that blank space there. And that should clean all of that up. All right, and so those are the primary links. I may move this over to a different section of the page, but for right now, that's what it'll be. Also, the nav bar, I need to have, so I have a full site name and then site short name, hair, and website. All right, and so I'm come over here to where this says nav bar, and in my config, I'm going to do config dot site short name, and that will go there. Also need to save this. All right, and so it does say hair website site short name. Actually, I need to do two things here. So for the if the class, so I need to duplicate that, and I want the full name of the website up here. So site name goes there, and then if this is a let's see, there's a way to do this. Expand MD. Okay, so because it's complaining about this unrecognized name, let's actually take that. Nope, take the whole line, and then we're going to move it under theme, and then paste it there. Whoop. All right, correct the indentions, and then now this will become theme dot site short name, and we'll save that there. And now the warnings are no longer there for that. All right, so the problem we have now is that we have two different things showing up. All right, so I have an example that I did, or not an example, I have a previous another site that when depending on the size of the screen determines the text that shows up in the nav bar. And so that is not right there, it is right here. So I do a d_none depending on the size of the screen, and that is using a span class inside of the anchor tag. Got it. All right, so what I'm going to do is move that there, move that there. All right, so for the short name, we'll do span class, and then for the short name, dlg none. All right, and then we'll close the span. Then on next line, span class d_none dlg inline, and then we'll do config site name. And what this will do is, depending upon the size of that window, so if we F12 out to minimize that, so when we resize, it'll move this to the shorter name, which is hair website. But then when we are full size, we will do hair site incorporated, and we also show our navigation links there on the side. And this is for large screen sizes. All right, let's format again, and we should be good to go there. I sometimes move the navigation links over to the right, but I'm not 100% sure if I want to do that right now. I do want to increase the visibility of this, so we'll do font weight actually bold on that. All right, so that looks a little bit bigger. Somewhere in some kind of way, I may get a logo that needs to go up in there, and that will go there. But as for right now, this is the way it will look. I want that nav bar to be static, but I'm going to come back to this. All right, so I'll come back to that. All right, so I kind of got off topic here, and I will admit that, but I want to get back on to the basis of topic, which is the About Us section. All right, so I did pull up some not blank text, some text to use for the About Us section. So I'm going to save that there, and if I come back over here and look, so the About Us is not contained in anything. All right, so let's undo that. All right, so we're going to div class container, and then inside of that we'll do div with a block of text. All right, so now this should be here better, which is good. And let's see, so we have a container here. Let's do a format that will wrap those long lines. And I want to do some styling behind that text. So what I want to do, I'm going to give this, I can give this section, let's do a container with a BG of peach. Let's see how that looks. So we have some text there with a P of 3, and P stands for padding and bootstrap. And then the footer needs to actually come down. So what I want to do with the footer, let's do a PT, PT of 5. That way it's way down, because I don't need any of this up here next to this. And all right, so that's that. Now I may take this color, and I think for now I'm going to remove it, because the customer did say they wanted it more so in all beige background, and so I may do some text here or something else that will highlight this to be a slightly different color. So featured products, I think I'm actually, so the customer, because of everything being on the same page, what I'm going to do is get rid of the popular collections section, and then I'm going to add the background on the product section to be peach, and that'll draw attention to that portion of the page. It looks like I screwed something up somewhere. All right, so let's undo that one time. All right, so no longer using that, so let's comment that out, and let's try this again. And then this time we take peach and I'm going to drop it here. All right, there we go. And actually peach probably needs to be on the outside of that. So let's do a div class bg peach. And then after this div, which lines up there, I'm going to paste that in. Next line. All right, and then need some padding. So we'll do a PT-3. All right, and then so we have a feature products, and then we highlight the section of the products of the page. Now this section could actually be 4 wide without the container on it, but I want to try to keep it from being the full width of the screen. So we will leave it with that as 3 wide items. If need be, I can change it to 4, but we'll stick with 3. All right, and then so the About Us section, what I think I'm gonna do is actually take that background out of there, because I really want to draw attention to the products, because that's what we want people to come here to buy whatever it is that they buy. This could actually be 2 sections, so you could have the About Us section, and then looking at another website of similar nature, so they actually have 3 columns. So they have one with the left, they have this middle section here, and then they have another filler image on the right hand side. So it could be done in 2 ways instead of 3. So for the sake of demonstrating that, I'm actually going to, in addition to that container, going to do a div class row. We'll move that down, and then so this will become class a call of MD6. All right, and so then after that, div class call MD6, and then I'm actually going to do a BG dark, and that will be a placeholder for the image that can go here. What kind of image? I don't really know. The customer, let's say image placeholder, and then so the customer will provide something to go in there. Hopefully, we'll do text light on that. Now somehow I turned the caps lock on, so let's correct that. Text light. There we go. All right, so that's the image placeholder for that, and a text about the business. We have our products, which are highlighted in this section here, and let's see what else. And then so we can also have some links down here in the footer. We have links at the top, and actually the products. Let's reorganize this navigation really quickly. So I want the products first, because that's what I want to draw attention to, is the products on the page, not so much the about section, because most people, they want to see what you have to sell and not so much learn about you. Not saying that it's not important to learn about you, but that's not necessarily the priority. All right, so I have my thumbnails, placeholders here. Those are good. Let's copy what the thumbnail placeholders have in their respective sections, because that image is centered. So they're actually using a SVG top inside of a, oh, so it's actually drawing a drawing a rectangle. That is a very interesting setup within, yeah. So I'm not gonna do all that. Okay, so I'm gonna stick with what I got here, image placeholder, and if need be, take it out, fill this across with text. If not, can do something completely different. But I do want to highlight the products on the page here, and I'm also going to change the navigation really quickly. So I want the navigation to be BG Peach, and then whoops, and then the text on the navigation will actually be a let's do the brown and see how that comes out. So BG brown, if I'm not mistaken. All right, and so that highlights that. Interesting. I don't want not that brown, text brown. All right, so did I not name? Come back over to the styles. So we have text brown, which is color, and that is important. Okay, so text, did I misspell brown? B-R-O-W-N? No. Text brown. Okay, so that should be overriding the products here, unless there's another, actually, no, I know what the problem is. So there's a style down here at the bottom that is overriding the other style. So if I comment that out, there we go. So now we have our brown links or brown text. All right, so let's undo that. And then I'm going to take this color here. Nope, not that color. This color, text brown, paste that. And that will overwrite all the links there. And then if I also add in the font weight, we'll set it to bold in this particular case. So then the text is there. All right, so now the main navigation. So let's take these text brown off. All right, and then on the primary link brand, so navbar brand. Yeah, so navbar brand. So in the CSS, I also want navbar brand. All right, so a dot navbar brand, and then we have this color here, which will be defined. All right, and so now we have that, and then that should cover everything on the navigation. Okay, so what I may do is to actually change the background of these cards, and then that way the background of the page is the same, but then the cards kind of stand out a little bit. So let's do that. Now you're probably asking, well, you just changed it to this other thing, and that is correct. A lot of times when you look at things and see how they are, then you'll realize I don't like that, and you'll want to change it. This is, hate to say it, but this is a common thing that can occur in web development. Now, some people do mock-ups of how they want things to look, and that is perfectly fine as well. However, I know some people, they just wing it and be like, well, we'll see what happens when it comes out. All right, so we'll do peach there, and then the green buttons. I'm not fully sure about that one. Okay, for now, I will leave it like this. The color scheme may end up being different. So where's the body tag? Because I think I put a color in the body, and so I want to stick with completely white. Okay. All right, and so that goes there, and then I can change the text, all the text on the page, to this brownish color to kind of match everything else, and then the dark color will, for the most part, align with everything else, especially on the lighter sections of the page. And so yeah, I'm gonna do that. Okay, not gonna do it right now though. All right, so as far as the about section of the page here, that is done. A link in the footer may also be included at some point. I haven't worked on the footer yet. That will be a future video. That said, please be sure to come back and you will see what video is next in the series. At some point I will be working on the footer, building it out, highlighting the section a little bit different to make it different from the rest of the body of the page. Thank you for watching. If you have not already, please be sure to subscribe and follow, and also give me a thumbs up if you've learned a lot or a little bit about web development. Thank you for watching. Come back and check out the next video in the series.